Hello, we hope you're doing well. Welcome back to another esports news episode. As you guys can probably tell by the layout right now, we're currently changing a lot of things over here. So please feel free to leave comments down below on today's episode, future episodes of what we can actually change in the future. As of right now, we've changed the audio. We've also obviously changed the background. For now, we're going away from the green screen, but continue to leave comments down below. But as always, more importantly, let's get into it. And first off, in big CSGO news out there, kind of a potential controversy is the FACEIT controversy. Now, if you guys aren't aware of this, it was actually a couple days ago, FACEIT took to Twitter to announce their new major ruling, and that was actually them allowing minor attendees and teams who were actually eliminated throughout the minor process to come back and play for major teams. Now, if you need clarification of that, that does mean for the first time ever in major history, if you guys are aware of that, the first ever CSGO majors had, and ever since then, had always followed this rule that if you were a minor team or a player playing in the minor process or the major qualifying process, and your team was eliminated or actually knocked out, you cannot come back and play for a separate team. Now, despite some other teams out there kind of breaking these rules without knowing it, I think it was actually Fnatic and Disco Doplin who would actually qualify with separate teams, and he went back to play for them. I think it was maybe 2015. So the rule has been broken in the past on a few instances of that being the organizer's fault not catching it, but ever since then we've tried to follow these rules for a majority of teams out there, where if your team or your players actually got eliminated throughout the minor qualifying process, you cannot come back and play for a separate team. Now, this actually is a big rule. We had a lot of big figures out there make statements about this. The first was actually Optic Gaming's coach. He came forward on Twitter to say some things that we probably all were thinking as to exactly why FACEIT made the decision, and maybe a big organization out there, like maybe a broken team like Cloud9, maybe MIBR, confronted FACEIT once they found out they were going to be the major organizer, and maybe kind of, not necessarily bullied them, but kind of urged them to make this new rule change, which allows them to have all access to all players out there, even those who were eliminated throughout the minor process. Now, even more importantly though, and again, I highly doubt, I want you guys to maybe comment down below, what do you think about this? Would FACEIT actually do this? Would they coerce with a big organization just to change this one rule? It's certainly a possibility, but definitely a far-fetched one at that. But it kind of does beg the question as well. People like Thorn making even better statements as to why they changed the rule in the first place. It's not necessarily, of course, the current issue right now people had was that FACEIT announced this as of late, kind of just out of nowhere. It actually was in their rulebook though ever since late June. So it's been in the rulebook ever since about a month ago. But Thorn kind of brought to mind the real question is, why did they change the rule in the first place? So what do you guys think about this? I honestly do think it's a great rule change if it was done unsuspiciously, because this does now allow all players out there, all top tier players, all mid tier players, to actually play for whatever team they want to. And I don't think that there's going to be a prevalence of the problem. Of course, the one instance you guys can think of is maybe if a top team out there like an MIBR or a Navi, if they do fall in the minor qualifying process by some far-fetched chance, of course, if an organization wanted to take a risk and actually pay for a player like coldzera or Simple or Electronic, they could of course have all those great players on their team with this new major rule and process. But again, that's probably not going to be a prevalent problem in the future that we do have. Most teams like that can easily make it out of the minor process, and again, probably organizations out there will not actually be willing to pay the money required to buy someone like Simple or coldzera in the future. But what do you guys think about that? It could be a controversy, probably not though, but definitely something to question. And even more questions out there as to why this could be a problem, or maybe a great thing in the future for some organizations and teams out there like Cloud9. Cloud9, the most likely target for a team who actually needs changes right now. They're currently going forward with only 3 members. They've been trialing people like Sticko and Golden. No one really sure right now who they're going to use for the major, but they can definitely take advantage of this rule, and there's many players out there they could take advantage of. Now, also to clarify, thanks to G2's owner Ocelot for reaching out to us on Twitter to clarify that after retweeting MBK's tweet of him being available to actually stand in for a team, he will not be free. So going forward as well, we have options, of course, being currently owned by G2, that's Apex and MBK. They will not be free, guys. I was kind of misled. Ocelot was liking a lot of our tweets out there, and he actually made sure to clarify, very well clarify the fact that they will not be free going forward, which does open a lot of doors though still for Cloud9 in the future, as there are many other players out there and probably organizations who have cheaper players in them. We have a lot of close teams out there who barely miss qualification, teams like ENCE, NRG. Even more importantly, we have players out there not attached to organizations, that being of course Kiyoshima, Scream, some very high-end players who really at Cloud9 could pick up technically for free if they're willing to just give them sticker money, because no organization is going to actually charge them an upfront fee. So some big questions coming soon for the CSGO Major. What teams do you guys think are going to actually change their rosters before come major time here in August? Because they do have plenty of time to do so, especially given this new major rule. The trade lock is now August 5th. Our major is going to be in September. They have plenty of time though. I guess by plenty of time, I mean they have less than 10 days to choose their rosters, but certainly a team like Cloud9 could definitely use some new players. And also in very big Dota 2 news out there, guys, we've had patch on patch, update on update throughout the entire week, but it's still not the updates we want, and that being Immortal Treasure 3 release. It was actually supposed to be here last week, or at least we thought, and maybe even early this week. It does seem going into next week, that will be hopefully the week we actually get Immortal Treasure 3 release. But on top of that, good news though, even though we've had patch on patch, update on update, seemingly not the right things, but a lot of smaller updates there, like Meepo voice packs and so on and whatnot. But on top of that, and good news, for the first time ever so far throughout tracking this, for the TI-18 prize pool, we are now ahead of TI-17 and well on our way for a $25 million prize pool, which is actually in great news because, of course, with the Immortal Treasure 3 release, we should still be on track to actually break the $25 million mark and even go past that. There should be one last surge with Immortal Treasure 3, and who knows, I guess the big question is now, how far past 25 million can we go? And that's also in great news. Hopefully the next update we see, whether small or big, will be Immortal Treasure 3. And in Fortnite updates out there, Epic continued to actually do a great thing, and it could be taken as a great thing or a bad thing. I'm not really sure what you guys think about this. I've often had the question about, is it really good to respond so fast to community backlash or community opinions out there? And Epic continued to do this as they actually have made a slight nerf to SMGs. Now, the main one, of course, being the compact SMG, the most recently added weapon, the P90. It was seemingly pretty OP, especially because mats have been nerfed as well with their starting and their, of course, their finishing health, at least with wood and brick. So going forward, we're going to see the slight nerf actually does work in the favor of players out there, but it does seem some small nerfs to damage as well as the fire rate, and alongside that also damage fall off for the weapon have all been slightly nerfed. Not any huge changes, but they will be in effect as of today, and it was actually Epic announcing that just last night on the Reddit forums, and those will be on screen as well, all of those updates. So we're going to see how this actually impacts future gameplay. It's only a slight nerf, and again, things like fire rate only being reduced by 1, damage or being reduced by 1 or 2 as well. Not too big of nerfs, but definitely something in the right direction for the P90 in the future, as we've seen it tear through builds day in and day out ever since its release. But also on top of that, guys, we have the return of Solo LTM Showdown. If you guys do not know what this is, it actually is a showdown of players in each region and the 100 top players who submit their 25 scores. As of today, you guys can start, and your first 25 matches in the actual game mode will go towards your total score, and the top 100 players of every region will be awarded, with the #1 place prize actually being 50,000 V-Bucks. So it's a great thing out there for all of you guys who can actually show your skills. Again, you have 25 matches to submit your score, and it's going to be your first 25. So best of luck to all of you guys. LTM Showdown is now back for a very limited time. If anyone was curious, no, we are not currently sponsored. This is just the only thing I had to put on this empty desk right now. It's my drink of choice, though. And also in very big news out there in League of Legends news, probably my favorite segment for today, because I could not be more excited for the future of League of Legends. If you guys don't know, of course, one of the original founders of League of Legends, Mark Merrill, actually took to Twitter this past week after the launch of Runeterra. If you guys have not seen this, I'll link some stuff down below for all of you. The Runeterra map was officially released, and alongside that, coincidentally, Mark Merrill did tweet out this about a possible Riot MMO. And I honestly freaked out. I've been waiting for an MMO for so long. A former RuneScape player and things like BDO have just not been, I guess, kind of, you know, fighting my craving out there for the time being. Would you guys actually pay for this? Because definitely, if Riot were to put in the time and effort to an MMO, not only do I think it could be very successful, I would definitely put some money behind that. So something to be very excited about that. And alongside that, they also made sure to release a Rise cinematic trailer, which was amazing to watch. These trailers have always been really cool, and I'll link that down below for all of you guys. And on top of that, we also have big announcements for SKT. SKT, obviously, throughout the split, obviously so far a newer team, not really promoting too many good results, but of course, not to mention though, their past 4 matches, they've won 3 of their last 4, but they did post this on their Facebook page, apparently making some roster changes. We could see maybe a new top laner, maybe a new jungler, maybe both. As of right now, we will find out July 30th, so next week's Monday episode will have that announced for all of you. And again, a team that's been struggling throughout the split so far, especially when you compare them to what they were last year at Worlds, but definitely not a team that's doing too poorly in the standings right now. And again, they've won 3 of their last 4, finally having some success, and apparently once they see success, they want to make changes. So it could be some big things in the future for SKT. And also, in very lastly, League of Legends news out there, we did have Smoothie taking to Twit longer. If it kind of give you guys a TLDR, he pretty much wanted to state he still has motivation to play League of Legends, which of course is no surprise. And his transition from Cloud9 or Cloud9's Academy team, whatever you want to classify him as, of course one of our better players in last year's splits, but still definitely kind of a gem in the rough right now for, in my own opinion, for Echo Fox to pick up. Echo Fox getting rid of a lot of baggage out there in terms of salary caps. Alltech rumored to be dropped because of that high salary, so they get rid of a few players. They pick up Smoothie to their main roster, and remember guys, both the Lamonte and Lost from their academy team will also join them. Echo Fox making big changes, and in my own opinion, this is actually a very big pickup. We're picking up Smoothie from Cloud9. We're going to see how this actually affects this weekend's matches, and of course, if you guys are new to the show, every Monday episode, we cover LCK and LCS matches, and of course, the standing changes. So there's going to be some big news out there, especially in North American LCS, as those standings continue to be very close. But that was it for today's League of Legends news. And of course, in Overwatch news, if you guys are watching right now, as of tonight, we should have the first best-of-5 match between, and that being an Overwatch League, the grand finals over there, the Philadelphia Fusion versus the London Spitfire. I cannot wait to hopefully watch this first best-of-5, and also an appearance tonight will be DJ Khaled. If you guys did know, he released his new album as of today as well, and he'll be doing a live show also at the Overwatch League finals in the Barclays Center, which did sell out. I actually covered in last episode, or a couple episodes ago, the rise in ticket prices for this event has been insane. I think as of right now, the two-day pass was originally $60 and actually jumped to almost $200. So obviously an event high in demand, gonna be a great one as well. And if we do need it, we'll actually have 2 extra matches tomorrow, 2 best-of-5 matches. So 1 best-of-5 match tonight, and hopefully up to 2 tomorrow if it does go to match 3. So best of luck to the Fusion, best of luck to the Spitfire. Who do you guys think are gonna win? Let's see what DJ Khaled thinks and if he influences any of the results. And also, very last in today's episode of Esports News, before we get into Rocket League news, thank you all for watching. If you guys can do us a favor, leave a comment down below. Continue to critique us in the coming days. We love to have feedback from all of you guys about what changes we can make in the future. How can we improve? What do we miss in terms of news? Leave a comment down below or reach out on Twitter, and we would love to get back to you guys on what we can improve on the show in the future. But also, very lastly, for Rocket League news, for all of you guys who are hyped about the new crate, the Zephyr crate, it will be dropped on July 30th and hopefully contain some very cool items. Actually, coincidentally enough, it will be Zyonix who actually announced as well the loot crate rates, the actual rates and all the rarities of the skins and items inside these crates. It's also very awesome to see transparency like this. In scenes like CSGO, we don't really see organizers like Valve actually coming forward and announcing the in-game crate rates, and it's very cool to see as well items like black market items you have a 1% chance at. And again, we've seen Valve, they actually extended over to Perfect World as their organizer over in the Chinese scene, and Perfect World was actually forced to release their case odds, so we do know CSGO case odds, but it's also really cool to see companies like Rocket League actually transparently and willingly share the case rates with us. And it's also very cool to see their kind of marketplace over there. The fact that you cannot trade these items anywhere else but on the platform is just a really unique idea. So we hope you guys all enjoyed today's episode of Esports News. If you guys did, feel free to leave a comment down below. We love getting in touch with all of you guys, and I will see you all back here Monday. We hope you all enjoy, and as always, we'll see you then.